still in a great spot. It's still at A440. The is a little bit off. So I'm going to go back and reset the temperament and then go on to the bass and the treble. I don't think that they have moved quite as far. They usually don't. It's usually the center that fluctuates in and out of tune. And the bass and the treble really stay on well. So I'm going to go back through this because I love precision. Who wants to play a kind of tune instrument? People that don't want to pay very much, I guess. Can you do this for free? Sometimes. No, I like to make money just like everybody else. Want to live in a nice home, eat good food, and take my wife on good dates. See how much that dropped? All right. That was my bro. Love Clint. I've known him a long time. Half my life and more than half of his. He is a good man. The second time around, there's just not as much movement. It's just a little here and there. So why do that, BA? Well, because I'm conditioning. I want this piano to learn to stay in tune. And it will get there. That's part of what I do. I don't just tune, I condition. Now, in all honesty, you're not going to hear this piano be out of tune. Somebody really good that knows how to play is playing. I've tuned for Emil Pandolfi for about 10 years. And there was a concert he was doing up in Walhalla. And that piano, I'm telling you, it was out of tune. It's on my Facebook page. If you'll go back through and look at the shorts, it's called The Most Beautiful Out of Tune Piano You've Ever Heard. I was getting ready to tune, and Emil said, "Hey, let me warm up my fingers before you tune. That way I can get my fingers warmed up, and then you tune, and then it'll sound great." I took a video of him playing, and I'm telling you, that video sounded incredible. Because he's just that good. that Hill Street Blues? You gotta be old. You can remember that. That was last millennia. I like being old. It's kind of fun. I was just telling my good friend, Chris Castle, he's a realtor up in North Carolina, and we were talking about a friend that passed away, one of the just best men in the area, Bill Huffman. He passed away, and he started Mark 5 Studio, and I really loved him a lot. He was a lot like a dad. He told me, I went to tune at his home, and he said, you remind me a lot of myself when I was coming up, and you just kind of go after things and make your way, and God blesses you. And that really blessed me a lot to hear that from Bill, because he was an extremely successful man. Definitely God's hand was on his life. But I said, Chris, you never know when you're going to go. If you quarter your life, you got your spring, your summer, your fall, and your winter. And most people only make it to fall. They didn't get to winter. And they certainly rarely get to second spring. Betty White was one day away. She made it all the way through her winter and was about to start on her second spring. But God's got his hand on all of us, got his plan. He knows how many days we're going to live, how many breaths we're going to take, all kinds of things. And just make sure you're ready to go. I'm ready to tune. That one needs to come up. It was on the outside. I know I'm in the middle of this tuning, but let me tell you, you can come to know Jesus while I'm tuning this piano. And I'd love nothing more to be with you in paradise forever, because it's going to be incredible. Can't imagine. Right now, we tune with what's called the equal temperament. And if you can hear that wobble, 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 that's about 7 beats a second. Now, according to the Bible, God created light, let there be light. The earth was void and without form, and the sun, moon, and stars were created on the third day, even though we had had 3 days of light. Interesting, A and F, that's a third. They're actually 4 notes apart. You got G sharp, G, F sharp, and F from A. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth day, third planet from the sun, 7 beats a second. Light travels at 186,000 miles a second, and the Earth is about 25,000 miles round. So that's 7 beats per second. I think the universe is tuned. I also think that it's also very distorted because of sin. So I cannot imagine how amazing sound will be in heaven, because I think this distortion of the thirds to give us the equal temperament will be gone. And you'll have equal temperament thirds without a wave or a beat. It'll just be pure like octaves. It will be quite incredible to be there. Hey, just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean I'm not going to like you if you're not, or you're something else. I definitely have an agenda, and that's to see you live forever in a great place called paradise. So we'll kind of let that rest. It's hearing something there. So eventually I might share my story in a different setting, but I'm going to share it now. Get practice on sharing it. So I used to work for a company called Lemforder. We built the BMW X5. It was a great, built the Z4 and the Z3. It's a great place to work. Good benefits, lots of good friends. We made automotive history. We were building about 40 axles a day with the Z3 and the Z4. But we decided to build that X5. This is the early 2000s, late 90s. So we came up with a different assembly line because we were building all of it on one line, and we decided to make this thing separate. We got the account from BMW. We were about 3 miles down the road from them. So we were building the X5. We went from 40 axles a day per shift to 440 axles per day, 220 per shift. And so from 40 to 220 in 3 months is an incredible ramp up in the automotive industry. And we did it. And we had good product. We built up a margin because anytime you shut down BMW, it costs like, back then it was $1,200 a minute, something like that. So if you shut them down for an hour, you're going to pay a lot of money. So what we did was we decided to be about an hour and a half ahead of them in case we ran into troubles. We never shut them down. It happened eventually, occasionally it would happen, but we stayed so far ahead of them. We'd run at 140% efficiency because we had a digital marquee at the end of the assembly line, and it read what time it was, our goal for the day, how many we had completed, and our efficiency rate with all that previous data included. And that let us know how good we were doing. So we didn't just run at 100%, we ran at 140%. And because of that, our particular line got our work done early, and we'd go to other lines and help them finish out the day. But I noticed that the guys to my right and my left, they never broke a sweat ever, ever. They rarely made mistakes. I would have to go back and correct things before we sent it out the door. I sweat a little bit if we were pushing it hard. And I said, Lord, this job, it's not beneath me. I'm not too good to work at this job. I just don't fit. You made my DNA. Would you put me in a job that matches the DNA you created? And he did. And about 8 months later, I was working for the Steinway dealership. And they sent me to Astoria, Queens, New York in 2006. And I trained at the factory. And I've been doing it ever since. I got into tuning pianos about 2004 on my own, but it was not long after that that they hired me. So I worked for them from 2004 through about 2010. And then I went back into factory work for a little bit, but man, there was no way I wanted to stay there after tuning pianos. So I went back to it on my own. In 2012, I started tuning and got to tune for Furman. And while I was at Furman, Converse started looking at me. They hired me to tune. I tuned there for eight years, and that was kind of a good situation. They didn't really pay a lot. They had financial troubles. They kind of still do. But they're good people over there. Good people at Furman. Good people at Greenville Tech. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me about your story. Tell me what kind of piano content I can show you. Sounds good. I think what I'm going to do right now is end the video and finish out this travel section and be on my way. I got to go cook some barbecue chicken and grill some burgers for my wife and kids. Thank you for joining in. Please like, subscribe, and share. Appreciate it.